Hello there, everybody. Good afternoon and good evening to you all. Welcome to day two of this incredible live webinar that we have been having from yesterday. And for people who have been here since yesterday, I'm sure that you had an incredible time with us as we sat down with the amazing Dr. Lilly to begin to dig deep into her new book, From Vows to Ventures: How to Create a Profitable, Successful Business Partnership for, married couples. And it's a book that everybody should be reading, that particular book, right? And we decided to do a two special days webinar to just talk about some practical things that couples can begin to look at when it comes to building a successful and profitable business partnership. You're welcome again to this day too, and I promise you, you will have a blast with us. You will learn a lot of things that if you apply in your family, in the business you're building with your spouse, you will definitely have a great business. All right. So let me know where you are joining us from. Go ahead in the chat box. Let me know the city and the country where you're joining us from as I get set to welcome Dr. Lilly on the show as we start digging deep from vows to ventures, from vows to enterprise, from vows to wealth creation, from vows to starting a business and building a business. And please, if you were not here yesterday, just go on the Facebook page where you're watching this from, or go back on YouTube or LinkedIn if you're watching this on LinkedIn, and check yesterday's session, because we'll be doing a progressive teaching for questioning and practical, sessions that Dr. Lilly will be talking about based on what she has shared in the book. And the book is available on Amazon already, From Vows to Ventures: Creating a Successful Business Partnership for Married Couples. And I guarantee you, you will definitely have a great time going through that particular book. All right, without much ado, let me welcome the author, Dr. Lilly, on stage as she joins us on this special day too.
Yes.
Hi, Dr. Lilly. How are you doing today?
Doing well, Dr. Joyman is so excited. It's so exciting to be here. You
Awesome,
can tell the
awesome.
moment I get on here with you, I just get happy.
All right, so good to have you again for this day too, as we continue to dig deep into this incredible book that you have written and is available on Amazon, From Vows to Ventures. And your main objective in that book is to show couples how to create a successful partnership as far as starting and running a profitable business is concerned. And I want to add that this book is like an addition to another recently released book. We
Yes.
talk about how to hire your kids and, of course, save on taxes and build a legacy. It's like a family combo
Yes.
that you have been releasing back to back. So,
Yes.
and the point is, any family person that is serious at, building a better family should be thinking on getting the books so that they can know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. Because that is one thing that separates most people from other people, is that some people know exactly what to do and how to do it, and they produce better results than many people in the society. All right, so before I start digging deep and picking your brain and asking you, practical questions on what people can begin to do as couples to build great family businesses as couples, I don't want to assume that everybody who is here knows who you are. So, Dr. Lilly is a licensed CPA an industry leading CPA. She runs her own CPA firm, and I want to say it is an award-winning CPA firm in Chesapeake, Virginia, and she serves different clients, from individuals to businesses to nonprofits and even churches, especially in the United States of America. And adding to that marketplace experience, Dr. Lilly is an accounting professor with the famous, prestigious, popular, influential Regent University. So she knows what she's talking about, guys. So she definitely knows what she's talking about. And just to add that she's an accounting professor with focus on MBA students, master students. So it's not undergraduate, right?
Nothing
she knows,
against that, but just for emphasis.
yeah, just for emphasis. It's very important. So she's what she's talking about, and she's not just saying it from a general perspective, but from an expert perspective. And she was recently recognized among the top 100 thought leaders in the United States by Thinkers 3660 in the year 2025. And I could go on and on and on and on with other books. This is like her fifth book. So just go on Amazon, type Dr. Lilly, and you see all the rest of the books that she has for you. And you will definitely have a great time. So I see more people joining us. Welcome again, everybody. Go ahead in the chat box and let us know where you're joining us from so we can give you a presidential shout out. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Stacy, for joining us. And you're excited to drink from that cup of knowledge. And Dr. Lilly is excited to pour out.
Yes.
She likes to pour out. She will pour it out to you all as you begin to pick this up. All right. So, Dr. Lilly, from yesterday, we started this journey literally going through page by page by page by page. And we ended somewhere around, I think we're supposed to enter chapter 3.
Yes.
And we said yesterday was laying the groundwork.
Yes.
And today is like, let's get into some technical things a bit. But I want to ask you a general question in this. Why is it important to know some of the things we discussed yesterday before getting into technicalities? Because that's what I see from your structure. Because chapter 1, chapter 2, from the introduction, you try to, it's like soft skills and technical skills,
yes.
Right? So why did you decide to proceed that? Why is it important for couples to understand certain things like purpose and all of that before looking at the technical things?
Awesome. I love that. I love that, Doc. So thank you again for today. Just, you know me, I'm already excited to be here. And this is so near and dear to my heart. I want to touch on what you just asked about yesterday because, and I'm going to reference someone who reached out to me after watching yesterday's video. And They said something. They said, I never really thought about our marriage from a perspective of purpose.
Wow.
And, that is the foundation. And so for anyone who might have missed yesterday's conversation, I want you to know that that was the foundation. Yes. And just as when I write my books, it's important that I lay the foundation of why you should even be reading this book. Right? Even the Bible talks about giving baby food, and then you only give them meat when they are grown enough. Because if you get into technical stuff without letting people understand why it's even important that they should be here, right? Why this should be of relevance to their marriage and how it can add to them, then the technical part has no place. Right. And so laying that foundation, the things that matter the most, like purpose, like why should we even go into this? Right. What are the benefits of being in business together? What are some challenges that we would face? And once we get that understanding and we know this is for us, then it's easier now to go into the technical stuff because you already have laid that foundation and you already know this is actually for me. Now I can invest time in understanding the technical elements of this.
Yeah. Awesome. That is so good. Now in chapter 3, and that's where we are proceeding from, chapter 3 of From Vows to Ventures, creating a successful business partnership for married couples. In chapter 3, the focus is, choosing the right business structure as a couple. And your first statement in that chapter says that before starting a business with your spouse, structure is everything.
Yes.
Before starting a business with your spouse,
Yes.
structure is everything. And you went further to say that the chapter will cover different things like the main types of entity structures like sole proprietorship, partnership, LSC, S corp, and so on. Now, my question to you in this light is, when you somewhere in the book you compared choosing a business structure for couples to laying a foundation for a house. Now, from your experience as a CPA working with couples, what mistakes do couples make at this stage when it comes to choosing a structure?
Oh man. Oh, you always have some good questions. Yes, dog. This chapter focuses a lot on structures.
Mhm.
And when it comes to couples that have been in business, what usually happens is that they wake up, someone has a great idea and they're really good at this, and they decide
Mhm.
they're going to go at this business.
Yeah.
But because they've not taken the time to talk to a professional, they don't
Mhm.
understand how that structure is going to impact the way they do business,
Yeah.
how that structure is going to impact the way they get taxed, how that structure is going to ensure that they are protected in the case someone sues them. And
Yeah.
moreover, how that structure is going to affect them if they choose to bring in investors or even get a loan from the bank. And
Absolutely.
lastly, if they choose to pass it on to their future generations,
Mhm.
that structure is going to set the tone, right? And so, what usually happens, the average person is someone goes on the SEC website, that's the Secretary of State, where every business is registered in the state that you live in. They go
Mhm.
and they register an LLC and they're done. Now, here's the problem, this couple might actually be trying to seek funding from investors.
Mhm.
But because they went and set themselves up as an LLC, now they are screwed because investors do not invest in LLCs where they would have to report taxes either as partners, whether silent or active partners. They would rather invest in a corporation where they own shares, right?
Exactly. Mhm.
Now, another couple that might be thinking, okay, we want to have a 50-50 partnership,
Mhm.
but they decide to start operating as a sole proprietor. Now, just in case something went wrong and it's just been under one business partner, under one of them,
Yeah.
now the other person is kind of doomed,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Because now, whether it's in decision making, if they never set those things right from the get go, it
Mhm.
comes and it affects them. So I
Mhm.
always encourage couples that you want to make sure that you're in the right business structure for yourself. Sometimes you even have couples that want to pay themselves a salary, but they have set up themselves as a multi-member LLC partnership. They don't know that you cannot pay yourself as a salary because when you're a partner in a partnership,
Mhm.
you are not separate necessarily from the business. So
Wow.
whatever is the profit is considered what you paid yourself. So you
Mhm.
cannot be employed by your business and pay yourself a salary. Now, you can have an agreement of let's something called a guaranteed payment that says you will get this amount of money for working X, Y, and Z hours or doing this job.
Absolutely.
But that is not necessarily a situation where you can write off, you can take payroll taxes out and the business pays for it. You have to pay those taxes on your personal taxes. So you see, there's an added layer of taxes that you owe. But now,
Absolutely.
if you decided to become an S Corp, what will happen in that S Corp setting is the couple now, even though they own the business, they can be treated as employees of their business. And so when their business hires them, the business can pay them a salary and the
Mhm.
business gets to write off their salary as a business expense, right? And
Absolutely.
then they don't have to carry that liability on their personal side. So
Mm.
when a couple goes into business without understanding these different setups, it
Mm.
comes to affect them down the road. Right? Same thing with a couple that might want to run a business but plan to hire someone else to run it. All those things are so important in how you set it up. So that way, long run, down the road, right? The goals that you've set for yourself, you
Mhm.
end up not being able to meet them because you were not structured right. So yes,
Interesting.
so structure is everything, dog. I'm telling you, it doesn't
Mm.
matter how successful your business is in terms of revenue. Guess what? The wrong structure can affect how much you take home so much that it leaves you wondering if this is actually something for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow. 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 That was so good. And that's why you guys just have to order the book from Vows
Yeah.
to Venture so that you get all of this in detail, the right questions to ask
Yeah.
and where to go to get the right questions. And the good news is, today we're getting into more technical things. So if you listen to all of these things and it feels as if it's X, Y, and Z to you, just get that email and number on your screen and book a session with Dr. Lily for free.
Yes.
She offers
Yeah.
free 15 minutes
Free 15
consultation,
minutes
and she will talk
sessions.
with
Ask your
you and your
questions.
spouse or
Mhm.
just an individual and give you more explanation on how to get this done. But
Yeah.
please get on Amazon right now, order the book, and trust me, it will be one of the best things you will ever do. All right,
Yes.
now my next question to you is: I am trying to picture a couple that they have listened to you from yesterday and today, and they're like, you know what? Let us start a business as a couple. Or a couple, or somebody bought your book and gave to a young couple as a gift. And after going through the book, they decide, you know what? Let's start a business together. And the couple now begin to decide that, you know what? Sole proprietorship seems very simple to start, but Dr. Lilly says that it carries some risk.
Yes.
And that couple wants to ask you a question. And the question is, how do couples balance the simplicity of sole proprietorship with protection at the beginning stage of their life?
Oh my God, I love this one. Doug, you're always coming ready for me. So that is such a good question. And as much as I do not encourage sole proprietorship, I'm not
Mm,
totally against it because sole proprietorship, because of its simplicity, the reason why I can be okay with people starting out as sole proprietorships for the few reasons, and let me list them. First of all,
mm,
if you're just testing your idea, I think it's okay to give it a shot. Okay.
mm, mm,
Second, if your business is very seasonal, where it's like a short-term thing, let's say you're married to someone who is in the military and you guys travel from place to place, and while
mm,
you're there, somebody signed you up for Mary Kay or something or sales that you're doing in that city. It's for a short period of time. I
mm.
don't want you to register a business knowing that you're going to be leaving that town.
Yeah.
Then you're stuck.
Mhm,
Third thing, if you're in a business that doesn't really have a lot of risk, let's say you're doing drop shipping, for example, you
yeah.
just have a store, people order is dropped off. Because of that, I would say go ahead and start, right?
Mm,
And then the fourth thing is if you really have a burning desire and you're struggling to know which way to go, I'm still okay with you starting and let everything else follow. Because sometimes people can become paralyzed by wanting to figure it all out and then
mm,
they end up not pursuing a dream. So for me, if you're not certain, start the business.
mm.
Now, I'll tell you one thing with this country: it doesn't matter whether you register a business or not. Your name and social security number are just as good, right?
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
run a business using your name. Your social security is a tax identification number. So long
Mhm.
as you start making money, Uncle Sam just wants you to report what you made, deduct your
Exactly.
expenses, and pay your fair share. So,
Mm,
irrespective of what is happening, I would rather you start in that setup than to keep wasting time on a dream. Now, does that mean this is always the best way to go? No, right? And this is why. If you're going to start a business that you know that, like you're going into healthcare, there's high liability in healthcare.
mhm.
Or you're starting a daycare, there's high liability in daycare. There's no reason why you should start as a sole proprietor. Because if something went wrong and you were sued, they're going to come for everything, right? So
Exactly.
the first thing you now have to think about is protection.
Mhm.
Okay. Second thing, you're going into business and you have people in Cameroon or maybe in Europe that want to invest in your business, right? And they
Yeah.
say, you know what, you guys, we've known this couple and we love that you guys work well together. We want to invest in the business you're going into. Now, for you to set up as a sole proprietor, that's a risk because now if these people invest in your business and you guys make a profit, you and your spouse will be liable for the whole of that profit, which means you want to set up as a corporation. So that way, these investors can get their own share of their dividends and pay
Yeah.
their fair share of taxes as well. See what
Mhm.
I'm saying? And then you
Yeah.
and your spouse can be paid for the work you do. So you can tell already that if a young couple had watched me yesterday and bought the book, my
Mhm.
first thing would be, now let's sit and talk about it. Where are you?
Yeah.
What is it that you have in your hands right now? And what kind of business are you trying to set up? Okay.
Mhm.
And then another thing too, Doc, when it comes to things like banks, right? Banks like structure. If you think about it, so if you're
Yeah.
starting a business where you know you're going to be, seeking a certain amount of loan, you do want to have some kind of structure and a track record.
Mhm.
Getting yourself structured like that helps you. And that way you can also set up a completely separate account for your business and start to build credibility with that.
Mhm.
So will I
Absolutely.
tell anybody to just rush and register a business?
Mhm.
No, I would say seek professional advice. And if you read my book, I have simplified it enough and I
Yeah.
showed you the pros and cons and what will work best for
Exactly.
anybody's situation. But
Exactly.
you know, if this is going to delay you or prevent you from starting, start. Okay, always start. I mean, what business people, Doc, if one thing
Mhm.
we know is nothing will ever trump action.
Yeah.
But at
Yeah.
least don't be reckless and don't be foolish if you find yourself in any of these scenarios that can
Yes.
expose you to liability, that can expose you to additional tax, or just
Mhm.
prevent you from being able to leverage resources that are available to you, like a loan from the bank.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Awesome. 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 That is some good stuff right there. And you just said what I wanted to say after you finished talking was that one thing that you did in that particular chapter 3 was that under each entity structure you explained the advantages and the disadvantages, and something you also did was that you asked them some questions, and
Yes.
depending on the responses they give, the
Yes.
response they decide to give will determine if the
Yes.
structure is better for them.
Yes.
So
I did.
couple
Yes.
A can choose LSC depending
Yes.
on their expectations and objectives for the family.
Yes.
Couple B can choose a sole proprietor or a corporation
Yes.
depending on
Yes.
what they want to achieve as a family. So there are some questions there to guide your discussion as a couple,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes.
And even if you're coming to meet Dr. Lilly as a CPA right now, or you're going to meet your CPA, you're not going blindly. You're going after a proper discussion between you two
Yes.
as couples. Thank you so much, Devine. I hope I am not butchering your name. Thank you for being here. Thank
Yes.
you so much, Annabelle Neva. Yes, she's
Yes.
confirming protection is
Yes.
important. All right. Book firm says, send me the Amazon link for the book. I am getting my copy. All right. The Amazon link will drop very. Check on the description of this video on YouTube. You see the Amazon link of the book there. Just click that link and
Yes.
you will get in that. Oh, I love this from Family Man. My
Thank you.
wife and I are watching and taking notes. Oh my
Thank you.
goodness. I wish I could give you guys a double shout out. All
Yes.
right. That's so good. And thank you for
Thank you.
letting us know that it's a family matter between.
Yes. It
All
really
right.
is.
Now
Yes.
I want us to jump to chapter 4,
Okay.
which talks about taxes. And
Yes.
the name of that chapter 4 is Tax Strategies for Power Couples, right?
Yes.
So it's like a motivation to me, all right? So,
Yes.
and
Uh-huh.
there are so many powerful insights in that particular chapter 4.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you said smart tax planning can turn your business as a couple into a wealth building engine. In this
Absolutely.
chapter, you covered strategies from income shifting to deductions. So many beautiful things in this chapter 4.
Yes.
Now, but there is a statement you made that I want to ask you a question from there in that chapter 4. You said love may bring you together, but strategy will help you to stay afloat, right?
Yes.
So, love is good, guys.
Yes.
But if you want to stay afloat financially and build
Yes.
wealth, Dr. Lilly says strategy is superior to love.
Absolutely.
All
Absolutely.
right. All right. So my question to you is, because when I read that particular portion of the book, you don't just talk about tax strategy as a way to save money. You
Mhm.
talk about tax strategy as a way of protection. So I see tax strategy as a form of protection
Mhm.
and a form of saving money.
Yes.
So why is it important for couples to look at tax strategy in their business? not just as a way of saving money and having more money, but as a way of protecting what they are building. Why do you see from that perspective?
I don't know what kind of brain you have. Sometimes you ask some good questions. I'm like, dog, that was a good one. That's such a good question. Oh, somebody hold me. I'll just get excited now. Okay, so uh, for anyone listening to this, like tax strategizing is really what flips the script for anyone who is building a successful business. Okay. I always lay the foundation to business owners now, especially married people watching this, that the tax code was meant to benefit two groups of people. I kid you not, business owners and real estate investors. Hear me out. If you're a business owner, the way you pay taxes is very different from someone who is an employee. Okay. When you're an employee, what happens is you earn income, right? You get a salary, they take out taxes, and then you spend what is left. But when you're a business owner, what happens? You earn money, but you deduct all the expenses that you had to incur to make that money, and you only pay taxes on what is left. Now, what happens with business strategizing is that we help you to be able to plan for all your expenses that you incur for your business, to make sure that you don't miss any of them. Now, why is this important? One of the things that tax strategizing does is that it takes away the shortcuts. You go to someone like me who is a professional who understands the tax code for you, and what we do is help you know how to leverage it for you. So as you're building a successful business, you're not giving that money to Uncle Sam, but you understand the way that taxes work, so that the money that you're making, you're able to save it and reinvest it in your business. So not only are you saving money, but now you're also preserving your business and you're protecting it because you're reinvesting in your business. Okay. Now, let me give a very simple example. We talked about structure. So if you and your spouse, you go into business and you're in a basic partnership, you cannot pay yourself a salary because partners do not take salaries. But if we were to make you an S corp, this is what will happen, right? Your business, even though you own it, can hire you and your spouse as employees. When your business pays you, that becomes an added deduction for your business. Now, let's talk in terms of numbers, okay? Your business as a regular partnership makes $100. As an S corp, $100. But then now you cannot deduct your pay in a regular partnership. So if you had expenses of $30, your profit is $70. You and your spouse get to pay taxes on $70. You pay self-employment taxes, you pay income taxes. That can be pretty significant, right? And you're paying both federal and state. But if you were an S corp, now you made $100. You had business expenses of $30. You and your spouse both took $20 as payroll. That's $40 joint. Now your only profit is $30 because now you had business expenses of 30. You had payroll or salaries of $40. Your profit is only $30, and you only pay income tax on that $30. So now you see how just by us changing your structure, changing how you treat expenses now causes you guys to be able to get more money back in your family because you're getting a salary out of your business and you're paying less taxes. So that is how you're able to protect your business, because when you're able to preserve what you're making and you can reinvest it in your business, you're protecting your business. And because you're not committing fraud and you're doing it the right way, you're able to stay in business the long haul. And then the better part now is that you have saved taxes, which means your family gets more out of it. You can put more back into the business and you can continue to build this empire that you guys are in. So tax strategizing is so important, right? So I just showed you how a profit of $70 that you could have been paying 15.3% of self-employment taxes, income taxes of maybe 28%, and then state taxes of maybe 6%. You switched it around, and all of a sudden you only have that profit of $30 that you're paying income tax on. So you see how we just did, that is what strategizing is all about, you guys. So as a family business, it's crucial that you're able to meet with a professional that can help you put these strategies in place to, yes, protect your business because you're doing it the right way, and of course, save your money.
Absolutely amazing. And again, I know some people listen to this. You see, Dr. Lee can flow on this, and you feel as if you wish that You should get her brain and understand why she's saying better. But if you just sit with her, get the book, trust me, a lot will begin to shift and you understand what to
Yes.
do, how to do it, and
Yes.
even when to do it, right? Because
Yes.
the right deadlines are very important in all of this stuff that we're talking about.
Doc, I don't mean to interrupt you. Let me give
Mhm.
another simple example of what tax strategizing. Okay.
Yeah,
Every family meets during Thanksgiving.
yeah.
Every family. Now,
Mhm.
think about it. If you and like you and your wife, you're in business now, okay? You meet with family members. What if you guys decided that okay, during our Thanksgiving, we're going to hold a board meeting. You
Mhm.
invite like three of your family members to join you in your board and you document that, right?
Mhm.
During your Thanksgiving meeting, family get together, you set aside time. You have conversations about your business. How
Yeah.
can we improve this? Doc, you have some travels this year. How can we structure your international travels with different conferences here? And everybody
Mhm.
puts their head and works together. What just happened? Your Thanksgiving meal now can become a business deduction. Your
Wow.
travel to that
Mhm.
wherever you guys chose to meet becomes a business deduction, right?
Exactly.
That's strategizing right there. Now you've just turned a family gathering,
Mhm.
incorporated business in it, and now you're getting those additional write-offs. Ah,
Yeah.
just thought I should throw it in there.
That's so good. That's so
Yeah.
good. That's so good. Now, in around page 40 of this chapter 4, you under this topic of tax strategy moves for power couples, you talk about income shifting, income splitting, and all of that. Now, I want to focus on income shifting. Why is this strategy particularly effective for couples?
Yes.
Because the way you talk about it in that chapter, the sense I was getting was that this is a very good, effective strategy for couples. So, why do you think, from an expert point of view, why do you recommend this as an effective tax strategy for
Couples.
couples in business?
Yes. Yes. Oh, I love it. Okay. So, depending on how a couple sets up their business, they can
Mhm.
choose for one person to be an employee of the business, and then
Okay.
the other person just stays to collect the profits from the business. All right. So,
Mhm.
you can still have your business under one person as a family
Okay.
because it's
Mhm.
one. Okay. And it's important that I say these things because sometimes people always think, oh, we have to set it up where it's 50-50 and all of that. No,
Yeah.
there are different things that can happen in how you structure. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, when you set it up where it's under one of you guys, 100%, let's say it's under you, Dr. Joybert, all right?
Mhm.
Your wife now can be hired as an employee of the business.
Mhm.
Because the wife is hired as an employee of the business, she can get certain benefits like healthcare, right? She can have retirement accounts set up for her. And guess what? The business is paying for all this because she's getting work done. That
Mhm.
is you shifting now income where if all of that just went to you, you'll be paying a significant amount of taxes on the profit. But now you've brought in your spouse, and now you guys can shift some of this income to your spouse. You can do so much more with it through your business, right?
Mhm.
You can
Mhm.
set up even reimbursable medical plans, for example. That's all the different things that you can do when it comes to strategizing for your business.
Mhm.
So it's like taking now this income that could have been treated a certain way, putting it under the other spouse, and it changes how it's getting taxed, right? And
Absolutely.
what the business can carry as an expense. So yes,
Mhm.
those are really some of the things that we encourage when you're in a business with your partner is you leverage all these strategies that allow you to be able to again protect your business and of course save so much in taxes.
Absolutely, absolutely. That is so good. That is so good. All right, the people asking for the link to the book on Amazon, just check. I have replied to people with the link. You'll just check in the comment section. You will see the link. Just click to Amazon, please. Write a good recommendation, leave a 5-star review with all these beautiful gist that Dr. Lee is giving for free.
Yes.
Let us respond with love and support
Yes,
by
please.
writing a good review because I can tell you, I am asking the questions, so it means I sat down to read this book, right? So I
Yes.
can ask objective questions, okay?
Yes.
So I can tell you this book is good. It's good. You will learn so much from this book. So I'm giving you a heads up to write a good review even before reading. And of course, listening to her talk is enough proof that have the confidence that you pick out something that makes
Yes.
sense from
Yes.
this book. All right. While I was reading this book from Vows to Ventures, you did mention about the Augusta rule.
Mm.
And it is one of those strategies that I think it is very important for couples to know and how to
Yes.
practice in their
Ah,
business. Now, why do you recommend a Augusta role to married entrepreneurs who are
yes.
running a business? Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so good. So first of all, I have to start by saying this is one of those rules that have been abused significantly on social media, because
Mhm.
someone hears it and they just rush to social media to talk about it, but they don't really give people enough insight. Okay. So
Mhm.
to start, the Augusta rule is a tax strategy that allows you to rent your home to your business for up to 14 days. Okay.
Mhm.
Your business gets to pay you for using your house. Your business takes the write-off as a business deduction, but
Mhm.
you, as the owner of the home, you don't have to report that income. So long as it's not over 14 days, once it goes to 15 days, now it's treated as rental income and you have to report it. All right. So now, the tricky part with this is, Doc, for people who are single member LLCs or sole proprietors, the
Mhm.
IRS calls them uses a term for them called disregarded entity. A
Okay.
disregarded entity means you and your business are not separate from each other. So you
Mhm.
cannot rent your home to your business when you're one. So you see now why I say people abuse this sometimes, because they tell you, but they don't explain that not everybody can use it.
Exactly.
Now, for partners, because when you go into a partnership with your spouse, your business taxes are reported on something called a Form 1065, which is
Mhm.
like an informational form, but you file your taxes first, separate from your personal. Okay. Because of that, and because of how you're set up, you guys now can take advantage of this strategy.
Mhm.
Okay. What happens now is you have 14 days in a year. You and your spouse can choose every month to hold a board meeting. Okay. You remember how I say you can even incorporate you could bring in some of your family members. You can
Mhm.
hold a board meeting. You can hold a mastermind. Okay. Now, on the day that you're holding this meeting, check online. How much does it cost to rent maybe a hotel conference room in that price, or maybe an Airbnb around that time? I always tell couples, think, hold your board meetings around when there are like holidays or big events happening where the prices of conference rooms or Airbnbs they go up, because you
Mhm.
have to go by the market value of that day. So you take that value, and that becomes the amount that you're renting your home to your business for that day. Document all the activities that you guys do, and then you invoice your business. Now your business pays you for using your home for that meeting. You
Mhm.
do that once every month. You can, if you have staff members, you can hold one of those. You can do a training session. You can bring in someone to come and train them. You can do a mastermind. Like I said, you can hold a board meeting. Just document all of this. In addition to renting your home, now you have food that you guys are going to buy. That is a business expense as well. Now,
Absolutely.
you did that once every month, and then during the holiday, you can hold a couple more, right? Like maybe a Christmas party, maybe
Mhm.
something like that. That's 14 days for you. Now,
Mhm.
if each of those days you were renting your home to your business for, let's say, 1,500, or let's say $2,000, that's 24,000 of business expense that your business pays you, and you don't have to report that income, and your business gets to write off the deduction.
Yeah.
You see how
Yeah.
incredible that is.
Mhm.
Now, the difference is this, and I need to emphasize this because I just said people abuse this. When
Yeah.
you use this strategy, you cannot write off the home office anymore. So, people that have a home office, normally you can write off the expense of having a home office, where you calculate the percentage of your home office, and then you
Mhm.
use that percentage to apply to all your home expenses, like your mortgage interest, your utilities. Between me and you, when you add those numbers, it's usually lower compared to when you rent your home to your business.
Mhm.
So that's an incredible strategy that your business can actually leverage, to not only transfer now money to you guys that is tax free to you, but it's a
Mhm.
business expense. And now you didn't have to go pay for a conference room to hold your board meetings. You
Yeah.
use your
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
So it's just, you see one of those strategies, and I have it in there. We have a template you can scan and be able to download it, that you can use to create to invoice your business for the rent.
Exactly.
And yes, so all of that is in there. You can even hold board meetings. We have templates you can download and use to document your board meetings as well.
Yes, yes. That, in short, you did an incredible job to just make sure the people going through the book have everything that they will
Yes,
need.
yes,
So when you get to that chapter 4, you will
yes.
see. templates you can scan and download for free, people, for
Yes.
free,
Yes.
and use it with your spouse. All right. I want us to jump to chapter 5. And chapter 5 talks about your kids building wealth and building legacy. And I want to say that you have a separate book that was launched about 2 weeks ago on
Yes.
this
Yes.
topic in particular: how
Yes.
to hire your kids, save taxes, and build a legacy.
Yes.
So, if you are a family man, a family woman, you have kids and you want to start a business, or you already run a business, you want to know how to legally, incorporate them into the business and pay them the right way,
Mm-hmm.
then you should be getting this book. All right. So
Absolutely.
I will not spend a lot of time on this chapter 5 because we did a 2 days masterclass and webinar just talking about
Yes, we
how to
did.
hire your kids, save taxes, and build a legacy. So if you're here for the first time, just go on Dr. Lily's Facebook page, go under videos. You will just see the live sessions that we did on this particular topic. Sit on it and
Yes.
also order the book. You can scan on your screen and, of course, get the book. It will give you practical step-by-step process on how to hire your kids, save on taxes, and work with them together to build a legacy. But from this chapter 5, I have one question for you, and then we can go to the next chapter. Now, you talk a lot in this chapter about legacy kids and legacy kids and legacy. So you are thinking generational
Yes.
as far as this chapter is concerned. And I think that's very good, especially in the African community and the Black community. We get to be very immediate minded.
Yes.
We struggle to transition what we're building to the next generation. And so, how does involving our children in our businesses, how does this strengthen generational wealth, and why should families not ignore this?
Oh, dog, that's a good one. That's such a good one. Um, it's very important that when we start these conversations, that we do acknowledge that our kids are individuals on their own.
Exactly.
They're gonna
Mhm.
have things that they like to do. They're gonna have their own path that is carved out for them based on the purpose that God also created them for. But the beauty of getting our kids involved in our business is not just about them carrying on the business.
Mhm.
It's about the skills that they develop in the course of working with us.
Yeah,
The things that they get to learn that they will not learn from school. One
exactly.
thing, and we emphasize this all the time, is business is all about value adding. I don't care what space you're in. The only reason anyone is willing to reward you for anything is that
Mhm.
you've been able to give them value, right? And so it's same with our kids. When we bring our kids on board for them to work with us and learn in the process of us building an empire, is we're
Mhm.
showing them what it means to show up, right? Every day. We're showing them what it means to provide value, something that people are happy to give you money for.
Mhm.
We're showing them what it means to deal with stress and still rise above
Yeah.
it. We're
Mhm.
showing them what it means to manage money too, and to know that money is not something that is picked up. It's something that is actually earned, and they have to do their fair share.
Yeah.
We're teaching them what it means to give a promise or say a word and stick to that word till the end. Those are
Exactly.
the things that we're training our kids when we're bringing them into our business. It's
Mhm.
beyond, and you remember when we talked about the book last time, I said your biggest legacy is how you act. It's
Exactly.
what you actually pass on to the kids in the way
Mhm.
you live your life from a
Yeah.
point of integrity. Because
Mhm.
the kids, when they get to experience this, it doesn't matter what space or field they find themselves,
Exactly.
those attributes will completely transform their lives and be able to transfer, right?
Mhm.
That's why they
Mhm.
say success is all about who you become in the process. It's not
Yeah.
really about the money you make. Because
Mhm.
once you become a person of value, it doesn't matter if you lose temporary material things
Yeah.
temporarily. Jeez. But you can always gain that because you have become a person who is driven, who is teachable, who is
Mm,
willing to rise above, who can understand dealing with customers, dealing with difficult people,
mm.
managing money, keeping good records, paying taxes on time. Those are all the things that we want to pass on with our kids, and it gets to outlive us. It doesn't matter if they take our business, because most parents always think my kids will take on my business. They don't have to, they can sell the business and
Yeah,
invest in something that they like.
yeah.
But those skill sets that you have passed on to them, it will always be with them, and it will help them to become just as successful, even more successful than you, the parent.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. And I think um, when parents get this book and on Vows to Ventures, like the questions that you suggested at the end of the chapter to help them
Yes,
start conversations, I
yes,
think those questions are very powerful. Where
yes,
you're asking a question like, what financial goals do we want to help them to reach with their earnings, right?
yes,
And this kind
yes,
of question will bring the parents to a place where they can be conscious and dedicated to helping their kids to reach
yes,
certain financial goals as they begin
yes,
to mature.
yes,
Another good question that you asked in that at the end of that chapter was, how can we use this opportunity to teach them about purpose, giving, and investing? And
yes.
and I think it's something that many parents don't consciously ask, right?
Mm-mm,
That
mm-mm.
they just, as
Yes,
days come and go, they're not conscious on, what are we really teaching our kids in
yes,
terms of some key values as far as life is concerned. All right.
yes,
Thank you so much, everybody, for jumping in. I see Dr. Kalizet. I can't wait to read it. Dr. Lilly, yes, please get the book. Family Man is confirming with you. Well said. And Derek Beeman says, um, for those who are not Cameroonians or Nigerians, he's speaking broken English. So I'm going to read exactly. He says, I go order the book now. Business lack now. So
I dare go come. I dare go come.
Derek is saying he has the money to buy the book. He has a wife already. The problem is the business now.
See, once he answers the questions with his wife, he will know what to do.
Exactly. You will know what to do. All right. Well, let us jump to the next chapter of this book as we get to round up in the next 10 minutes. Chapter 6 is very, very interesting chapter, right? You say balancing love and the ledger. Those who
Yes,
have accounting background will understand what that means, right? But how do you balancing love and the ledger, managing roles at home and in business?
yes,
And your first line in that chapter says that mixing marriage and business can blur the lines,
yes,
but love and leisure must be managed separately. I just love the language, right? Now,
yes,
here's my question to you under this amazing topic. You you said somewhere in that chapter, in short, it sounded like a warning to couples, and I loved it. It sounded like a warning, so that we don't feel as if it's all gonna be good,
mhm, mhm.
beautiful vacations, flying private jets, and then
Oh, right?
right. You said that your marriage is not your business,
Mhm.
and your business is
It's
not your
not your
marriage.
marriage.
That's
Yes,
such a powerful statement to make. And that's such a powerful reality check for
yes,
couples to know. Your
yes,
marriage is not your business, and your business is not your marriage, even though you guys are in charge,
yes,
right?
yes.
So, from your experience in dealing with couples that run a business as their business CPA, how can couples enforce this in their daily life? How can they come to that place where they understand that,
Mhm.
look, our marriage is separate from the
Yes,
business separate from the marriage, but yet we are involved in the two at the same time?
involved. Yes.
How, from your experience, how do you help couples to understand, especially when it comes to this business thing, and managing it the right way so that it doesn't cost them their marriage the wrong way?
I love that. Oh, Doc, this. Oh, I love it. It comes down to one word: boundaries. It comes down to boundaries. We touched quite a bit on that yesterday for someone
Yesterday,
who didn't
yes.
get a chance to watch it.
Mhm.
But the confusion people usually have is because we love each other and we came together, we're married, and we're making it work every day. They think they can just take that attitude to business. Unfortunately, business doesn't work like that. You go into business, I don't care whatever you're into, at the end of the day, it's because you want to make money. And in order to make money, certain things must fall in place. One of them is you must have a good product or service that you're offering that is
Yeah.
adding value to the lives of people. And then you
Exactly.
must have people who are interested in what you want to buy,
Mhm.
right? And are willing to pay you a certain price. And then you must have your expenses manageable enough that you can make a profit after you deduct your expenses. Okay.
Mhm.
In order for all this to happen, for you to see a profit, you need to have structure. You need to have certain things in place, like you
Mhm.
need to have the right people who are providing the service, you need to have the right people managing the books, and you need to have the right people dealing with customers, right? As you can
Exactly.
see, you don't have to deal with any of this in your marriage. Because your marriage, as much as, yes, we want to build a happy home and have kids, the difference is we don't owe that to anybody outside of the four walls of our home.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so we have to shift that mindset when it comes now to building a business, because all of a sudden so much more is expected from you, and you
Mhm.
cannot just wake up and think because every day I wake up and drop my clothes on the floor, maybe my wife or my husband picks it up, means I can just drop things like that in the business and they're going to fall in place.
Exactly.
It cannot happen, right?
Mhm.
And so in order to ensure that those things are separate, like we said yesterday, we need to make sure that there are clear job descriptions,
Yeah.
very clear job descriptions. In
Mhm.
the home is a lot easier because, again, if you're a Christian, the way it functions is the husband is the head of the family, the wife is next to him, and then the kids.
Mhm.
Okay. But again, we have this order that we want to live in honor of God, and it works very well at home.
Yeah.
Except when it comes to business, our first focus is who is able to fit in what role to make sure
Exactly.
that we're delivering service, adding
Mhm.
value that people are willing to pay us for, and also have structures to ensure that our expenses are managed so we can actually have a profit to have a happy home. And
Mhm.
so, Doc, that is where now we have to shift our mindsets. When it comes to business, we're going to put structure in place. We're going to make sure that the right person is in the right job, doing the right thing. If you have a spouse that is not good with people, why would you want them to be the one answering phone calls or dealing with
Exactly.
customers,
Mhm.
right? Maybe
Yeah.
they are really good with technology, they're good with Excel spreadsheets. Let them manage the books. But
Yes.
you
Yes.
see, you cannot just think because in our home, if one person doesn't do it, the other person will do it and it's okay.
Mhm.
Business doesn't work like that.
No,
Everybody must pick up
exactly.
their slack. Another
Exactly.
thing with business is that we have to hold you accountable when things are falling, right?
Mhm.
In the marriage, every now and then, love can cover, like love covers a multitude of. I don't know. It cannot do that in business because your profits will suffer, right?
Exactly. Mhm.
I think it's very important that couples keep this in mind. The fact that you're married does not mean that having a loving home is going to automatically roll over into
Mhm.
running a successful business. We will need to start by having the right business structure, ensuring that the right person is doing the right job that provides the right kind of service and value to the public that they're willing to pay us for. We'll be able to
Exactly.
manage our expenses. Back home, if you're not, maybe at home, you don't care about who is managing the books. We have salary coming in, we pay bills, and we're done. With business,
Mhm.
it's very different. It's very different. So the right person has to manage it and to ensure that we stay afloat. So that's
Absolutely.
really the mindset behind this, dog. And I hope that couples going into business don't think it's just gonna fall in place because we love each other. You'll
Absolutely.
be you'll be so disappointed.
Exactly. Exactly. In one of I think the next chapter, you ask very pertinent questions under conversation starters, and you ask the question: Are we both clear and comfortable with our roles at home and in the business?
Yes.
I think that's a very important question for
Yes.
couples to sit and really make sure
Yes.
that before they are going to the public with anything as far as business is concerned, they have
Yes.
sorted these out. Are we both clear and comfortable with
Yes.
our roles at home and in business? And
Yes.
another question you asked was, how well are we separating our personal and professional lives?
Yes.
I think that is so good. That is so
Yes.
good. All right.
Yes.
We are rounding up this session like in 4 minutes. And guys, I have not gone have to talk about chapter 8, chapter 9, and
Oh my, they
you
have
go
to read
back
it
to
though.
back
They have
to
to
back
read it
to
because we
back
have
to back to
contracts
back.
on there. Ooh.
Exactly. So there are so many things that you just need to get. In this book, you're going to get tools that every entrepreneurial couple needs to, in order to succeed in business. Chapter 9 talks about when things go wrong in that partnership, what do you do? It helps you
Yeah.
to understand all of that. Chapter 10 talks about real questions from real couples. Get deep into that and understand. If you just get this book and you start following and practicing what you're reading in that book, I can guarantee that you will build a good business partnership. All
Yes.
right, Dr. Lily, before we end this special masterclass to round up this special online launch of this your latest incredible, insightful book on From Vows to Ventures, let's say a couple reads this book in 2025
Mhm.
and they were thinking of doing something different next year to move their family forward. And if you meet them after they have read the book and they started something, what expectations would you like to see in their marriage and in their business?
Oh, I love this. I love this. Oh, yes. So the first thing I would like to see is that they have understood what it is that they want to do and why they want to do it.
Mhm,
The second thing is that they would have been structured correctly. That
mhm.
means before even starting out, they made sure to register their business in the right entity structure. The
Absolutely.
third thing is they would both be operating in the areas of their strengths, which
Wow.
means their business would take off much faster than a couple that kind of had to figure it out along the way. Because
Mhm,
this couple would have had deep conversation. Guys, when I say we have some good questions in that book, I put very insightful questions there. And if a couple really goes through and they answer those questions, they're going to go into their business very differently. And
mhm.
above all, I even have a contract in there, right? So that they can understand what it means to go into a partnership. Because going to a partnership is not just about saying we're doing a business. We
Mhm.
also need to have certain things in place for what happens if we want to shut down the business. What happens if we get divorced? What happens
Exactly.
if something goes wrong, right? We want to have those in writing. Also, if I wanted to take money from the bank, what's the limit I can take without my spouse's knowledge? Because
Mhm.
back in the days, people would go and empty their account without the spouse knowing. And then, and so the banks now started to insist that you have a partnership agreement. And so,
Exactly.
if a couple goes through this book, doc, I promise you, they would be literally set up for success. I
Mhm.
can guarantee that they would be set up in a way that they will go into this, they will save themselves at least 5 years. 5 years that other people who went into business trying to figure it out along the way would,
Mhm.
did. And it would help them not have the kind of resentment that I see couples that went into business not knowing what they were doing, what they
Wow.
had, which
Mhm.
is kind of one of the reasons I wrote this book. Because every time couples will come to me, there's been a lot of resentment because there's been a lot of stuff they didn't understand, things that
Yeah.
they never started doing right from the get go. And so it catches up with them later on. And because they are not really able to communicate that effectively to their spouse, because they don't
Mhm.
even know what it's supposed to look like. So
Exactly.
resentment builds. And the other person who is making the money happen also may not even know how to explain, things differently because they're just focused on making money.
Mhm.
There are all these other things. So it's my hope that if a couple reads this, not only would they have set themselves up for success, building a really good business, but they will balance it so well that it doesn't affect their marriage. As you can see,
Mhm.
if you read the book, I really point out that for certain couples that cannot turn it off, find a way to not bring business home all the time because you never want to lose the romance. And then the other person starts feeling like you're only with them because of the money that they can bring in the business.
Yeah.
We see it happen all the time. People are
Mhm.
like, he can't stop talking or she can't stop talking. And I just want my wife back. I want my husband back. Can I just have that? So
Yeah.
make sure that you also have date nights because at the end of the day, you had a covenant before you went into business. And
Exactly.
that should be the number one thing because your love should be the driving force behind everything before anything else.
Yeah.
And lastly, dog, one thing we didn't touch on yet, because of course we want them to get the book, is if the couple went through all the book and realized maybe business is not for us, but we want to give back to the community, there's a whole chapter and questions that will help them set up a nonprofit that they
Exactly.
can go ahead and still fulfill their purpose
Mhm.
and live a very fulfilled marriage, doing things
Awesome.
differently. So
Awesome.
that will be my hope, that any couple who gets this book will be 5 years ahead and doing what they really love and
Yeah.
changing lives in the process. And they're
Awesome, awesome, awesome. That was so good. There was no better way to end this particular live streaming today. And again, thank you so much to everybody that sat throughout the live, and those who started and left, and those who came back, and those who are going to watch this later on. This is definitely something that you need to sit on, get the book,
yes,
get it as a gift for somebody, maybe end of year gift, Thanksgiving gift, right? There are so many marriage anniversary gift,
yes,
birthday gift for a husband or a wife. There are
absolutely.
it's one of the best gifts that you can get and give somebody. So thank you again, everybody,
Yes,
for being part of this live
absolutely.
session. And we were so excited to have all of you to be part of us.
Doc,
And
I hope there were
again,
no questions that we missed on.
no, no.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yes. So again, this is the QR code. Scan it, or just go on Amazon and type "From Vows to Ventures" by Dr. Lilly. That's the only book you're gonna see with that nice title, right? And you
That
can
nice
get it.
cover.
Yes, a green cover, and of course with two beautiful rings representing you and your wife or husband. And of course, sit on it, send us a review, send an email, send a text, book a free consultation session with Dr. Lilly, and she would
Yes,
happily,
take advantage of
happily
that.
connect with you. Yes. All right,
Yes,
everybody, thank you again and have a great time.
yes. Thank you guys so much.